Good evening. I call to order this regular meeting of the Minnehaha County Planning Commission, and as a courtesy to everyone here tonight, please make sure that all cell phones are turned off. Please also note that tonight's Planning Commission meeting will be rebroadcast via CityLink and posted on www.minnehahacounty.org for viewing by the general public. We have a little housekeeping here to do too. We have a new commission member, Adam Morehauser. We welcome him. And also the reappointment of Becky Randall. And welcome back, Doug Odie, Mike Ralston, Paul Kosbath, and our liaison from the County Commission, Jeff Barth. We also have, since this is the beginning of a new year, we have the election of our officers. And we will begin with the election of the chair, and after that, the vice chair. I will entertain motions for the nominees for the chair position.
I nominate Bonnie Duffy.
Second.
Are there any other nominees? Any discussion? Motions made and seconded to nominate Bonnie Duffy for chair. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We'll move on to, I will entertain another motion for the nominees for vice chair.
Nominate Becky Randall.
I'll second.
Are there any other nominees? Any further discussion? A motion is made and seconded to approve Becky Randall as the co-chair. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We will move on. Is there a motion to recess the Planning Commission and convene as a zoning board of adjustment?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. I call to order this regular meeting of the Minnehaha County Zoning Board of Adjustment to consider item number 1, the approval of the minutes from the June 26, 27th meeting, and item number 2, a request for variance. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from the June 26, 2017 Zoning Board of Adjustment meeting?
There is a motion to approve those minutes.
Second.
Okay, a motion is made and seconded to approve the minutes of the June 26, 27th meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 2.
Good evening, Scott Anderson, County Planning Director. Item number 2 tonight is a variance request 18-1. This is a request to increase the height limit in the C Commercial Zoning District from 35 feet to 48 feet on property that's described as the west 600 feet of the east 1,400 feet of the south 790 feet of the northeast quarter of Section 36, Township 101 North, Range 51 West. This is property that's located at 267-674 66th Avenue, which is approximately 3 miles west of Sioux Falls, also known as Wildwater West. Tonight, the applicant is here, and he is requesting, as I indicated, to reduce the setback, or excuse me, to increase the height of a structure from 35 feet to 48 feet. And he has submitted a plan for you to look at. He is asking for this change to be made for a Quonset stage to be constructed on the site. The applicant has purchased a used stage, and he would like to use this on the subject property. And the top of the height of the metal arch is 48 feet. There would be a stage that would be assembled underneath the arch, and that would be a 6-foot height. And then above the stage would be sound equipment and lighting. So if you sort of do the math, I mean, it works out that they need to have a little bit of a higher structure in order for the stage and the equipment, the performers, and to have adequate space to perform. The applicant did provide several photos and a site plan which depicts the stage and the location next to Wildwater West Amusement Park, and I have provided that for your review. He has indicated, and I can verify, that a similar stage was used several times on a temporary use basis during the Lifelight Festival, and that was approved as you recall, through this board and the County Commission several years ago. The There are several other structures in the area that exceed the 35-foot height. There is existing water slides in the water park that are 55 feet high. As you know, there are certain criteria that we need to look at when we consider a variance, a zoning variance, and these items I will go over for you. Number one, are there specific circumstances or conditions such as exceptional narrowness, topography, or siting on the property that exists? The siting of this type of venue typically requires a taller structure than 35 feet in order to adequately house the proposed use, which indicates that a taller structure would be needed. Number two, does the variance grant a use which is otherwise excluded in this particular zoning district? Does the use or the proposed structure diminish or impair property values within the area? This is already an existing recreational area which has been established for more than 30 years. The proposed venue would be in addition to those established uses in the area. The proposed taller building should not diminish the property values in the area. Number three, that due to specific circumstances or existing conditions, strict application of the zoning ordinance would be an unwarranted hardship. In this situation, strict application of the zoning ordinance would be a hardship for the proposed use. It would be difficult to conduct a music venue with a structure maxing out at a 35-foot height. Number four, is granting the variance contrary to the public interest, and is granting the variance in harmony with the general purpose and intent of the zoning ordinance? The intent of the zoning ordinance is to promote orderly growth in the county and to make sure that the intent of the ordinance is met. This area functions as a commercial area, and for this particular use, a 35-foot tall structure will not function well. So the request will allow for orderly growth to occur. And lastly, that because of circumstances or conditions, there are no possibility that the property can be developed in strict conformity with the provisions of the zoning regulation, and that authorizing a variance is therefore necessary to enable reasonable use of the property. A variance is necessary to allow for reasonable use of the property. Strict conformance of the zoning ordinance would not allow for the development of this venue. So with that in mind, the proposed development and subsequent need for an increased height does not harm the public. The staff finds that increasing the height of the structure would be in harmony with the general intent and purposes of the zoning ordinance, and staff recommends approval of variance 1801 to increase the maximum height of this proposed structure from 35 feet to 48 feet. I can show you the area and some pictures. Right now, the site is undeveloped, so it's basically just a field. The applicant has testified previously or has indicated that they have done some initial grading, and that grading was done many years ago when the Life Light Festival occurred there, and that was to allow for this type of venue to occur. So this you can see basically on the bottom of the picture is the existing water park and some of the pools and features that are there, and then the applicant has depicted where the stage would go and the general berms and sloping of the property. Here's the proposed stage. You can see it's a metal structure with I think it's like a Teflon material that's stretched over the top of the structure, and then the stage that is underneath it. This is a general picture of the water park, and you can see back in the corner where the stage, there's a little black rectangle, and where the concert grounds would be are noted, and then where the parking. This shows the existing parking that will be utilized for the proposed use. And this is just the general site. As I indicated, it has been graded several years ago, and has had a chance to revegetate. This is looking south at that existing park, and you can see one of the water slides that's 55 feet is in the background there. So I'd be glad to answer any questions, and the applicant is here if you have any questions for him.
Any questions for Scott?
Not yet.
Okay.
Okay. The applicant's here if you'd like to ask him any questions.
Will the petitioner please come forward, state your name and your address, please?
My name is Francis Phillips, General Manager of Wildwater West. Address is 1700 South Carter Place, Sioux Falls.
Any other comments that you have about versus what Scott's told us?
No, he pretty much hit the narrative there with the project that we're looking at.
Any other questions from the commissioners? Okay, is anybody else here that has any comments or any opposition to this? Any comments?
Madam
Jeff?
Chair, I guess I'd like to ask Scott a couple of questions. Scott, so just approving this, though, doesn't grant a use in the sense of, rock concerts 7 days a week or anything like that, does it?
Right now, we're only approving the height of that proposed structure. Later in tonight's meeting, under the consent agenda for the regular meeting, there is a conditional use permit request to allow for a concert venue to occur on that property. So he has to get the conditional use permit first.
Right, okay, that sounds good to me.
Any other questions?
I'll wait till the next one. Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve this variance.
I'll second it.
Motion is made and seconded to approve the variance 1801 to increase the height limit from 35 feet to 48 feet. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We have no other old business, no new business. Adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. We'll move on to